Joachim, for the introduction. And I would like to go through the basics of the command line interface and the shell. So mainly the questions that we are going to reply or what we are going to learn in this section. It's what are the command line interface and what is the shell and when and why we will use them. So you see in front of you here one example of how the shell look like, and I believe this is an example from Monk. And I already opened two different shells in the screen. One of them is a shell from my local computer, to use it to see the commands in front of us from the local computer. Also, I try to log to my account in Alvis here from one of the clusters. And this is how it looked like, the shell. And as Joachim mentioned, that we are going to use the bash shell. And yes, if we put our mouse here to activate one of these windows, you can see the prompt here in the shell blinking. That means it's waiting you as a user to give input to the operating system, any command line that you would like to implement it. Yes, so let's just continue and see what we have here in the material. In this info that it just shows you how the prompt will look like in different shells. So here, if you see in my Windows, it's a $sign in bash, but it might be different with different shells. Like it can be a percentage or hash or a greater than, for example, in the CT shell. Yes. Beside using the shell and entering the command lines, of course, we have GUI, which is the graphical user interface, where you can interact with the screen by using the mouse, for example, or using the touching screen. But in general, that using the command line, it's more powerful, where you can do, for example, automate many repetitive tasks by using the command lines, where it will be not possible by using the mouse or the touching screen. Okay, now going to the shell again, like what Joachim mentioned about the shell, it's nothing, it's just interface between the keyboard, what you are typing, and the computer operating system. So you are the shell basically trying to take your input and send it to the operating system to be implemented or executed. And we will focus again on the bash shell in this course. Yes, and here it's just showing you again how the prompt look like and what is before the prompt. Usually you will see let's say if I am here in Alvis, you will see your username in the cluster and where are you located for now. For example, I am in this folder right now. And you will keep hearing about some terminologies like terminal, console, shell. So to know like shortly, what are they? The terminal, it's the input-output environment for the text, and the console, it's the physical terminal, while the shell, it's the command line interpreter. Of course, here, if you click here, you can see longer explanation for these terminologies. You can read them. And here are some examples about how to have the exercises in different clusters. So for example, in how you log into the Dardle, Tetralet, and you can follow these links. And I assume most of you, they have uh, their login information. And yes, otherwise, still you can follow the lecture and use your local shell in your computer. So let's start with the simple command, which is ls, list files. So this command, it will show you whatever you have in your current folder. Let's say if I just type it here, it will show you that you have inside this folder, which called NAISS Intro Training Days. It has two files, like folder and one zipped file. And yes, so this is list file. It's very basic and important command. And another important command is touch. If you want to create any file, you can just say touch and give the name of the file that you would like to create. Let's just try to do this quickly. Okay, my file dot text. If you do ls again, okay, you created it. Another important command line, it's makedir. You can create your own folder. So here, touch, you can create file. With makedir, you can create a new folder. Like you put the name of the folder. Yes. And ls, you will see that you created file and directory. Now let's keep in mind that these three main commands, ls to list the files and folders, and touch to create file, makedir, it's to create a folder. Before we go to the next session, let's see here if you are do some typos, what kind of error messages you will get. You can see here some examples of these messages. Let's say if you mistype any of the command lines, for example, as written here in this example in front of you, instead of writing ls, by mistake you wrote ks. So the system will always tell you there is error. For example, it's also different from shell to another. It's depend on the system, sorry. So it will tell you this command not found. Also, there is another type of errors. You might, if you want to list a file, it's not exist, or you don't have a permission to open this file or folder. You will get also another type of messages that, okay, this file you cannot access. Either it's not there or you don't have the permission for that, or the permission denied. And later we will speak about the permissions. Yes. So let's say now we know that we have only those. If you say, I want to see list new, there, let's say, for example, this one, which we don't have. Okay, so it will say to us, okay, we don't have this folder. As a summary or key points from what we covered for now, let's remember that the shell, it's a special user program, and it's interface between the keyboard and the operating system, where you give input and the shell will take this input and send it to the operating system to be executed. Also, we are focusing only on Bash in this course. Remember that. And you can run programs from the shell by entering the CLI, which is the command lines that we are speaking about. Also, remember the advantage from using the CLI. It's, as we mentioned earlier, that it's very useful when you have many repetitive tasks that you would like to automate to do. So it will help you to speed up your workflow or your work. But the difficulty with using the CLI or with the shell, it's how to find these commands and how to run them. So you have to learn more than when you use only the mouse with the GUI.